Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to this live stream. I'm Chris from Learn, Train, Play, and today we're going to look at a couple of FAQs. I did attempt to do these a couple of weeks ago when they came out. Sadly, I had some connection issues because of where I live and the crappy internet we have here. And then I've been pretty busy since then, so I'm going to look at them now since I have the time and the connection seems to be okay today, fingers crossed. So yet again, the Disciples of Tzeentch was errated, and the only change in this second errata with them is this designer's note here at the bottom regarding Pink Horrors and Destiny Dice 1, because they modified it, so they changed it, amended it so that the Battle Shock and armor saves are modified by the Destiny Dice. But they count as an unmodified if you use the Cat 1 for the icon bearer. As long as you have the icon bearer in the unit of Pink Horrors, then it counts as an unmodified 1, so you still auto pass and you still get D6 Horrors back. So for any other Tzeentch players or people playing against Tzeentch, this is something to be aware of. So ones from your Destiny pool will auto pass your morale because it counts as an unmodified 1 that has been rolled, and therefore auto passes and gets your D6 back. But again, this is only for the Pink Horrors. So I mean, and they're the big problem unit for a lot of people. So we'll close that and go on to the next one, the Slaves to Darkness. Now, this frustrates me because, and this is where I go on a bit of a rant, it frustrates me because I can see what Games Workshop are trying to do here, because they nerfed things that didn't really need nerfing. In the previous FAQ to this one as well, it was mostly small changes that they didn't need to change, but they had to anyway. And the main reason I think that they made a lot of these changes is because they want to push people to buy Archaon and to buy Varangard because they're expensive models. And they want people to run Archaon. I mean, granted, I do want to buy Archaon, but this is what I think, like, they want me to buy him because he is the only way you can really run any competitive Slaves to Darkness. Now, before, when we had the Nurgle Demon Prince boon, no, what was it? Boon, Bloated Blessings here. So I will zoom in. So they changed the wording to be as, I think it's as they may have intended it to be at first, but it was worded different. But now you only get 1d3 mortal wounds regardless of how many 6s are rolled to hit on a unit that has been given Bloated Blessings. So now with this, it hardly makes it worth using that command ability. You're better off saving your command points now for Battle Shock, for all-out attack, for all-out defense. Anything else, any of the other command abilities are far better used now than this 1 to 3 mortal wounds that you can put out. If it's like before, it used to be any 6 gave you like forced D3 mortal wounds on the attacker, and that was very powerful. I'm not saying it's not. It was very powerful, but it was the only tool that that you could give a unit in the Slaves to Darkness army that could really stand up against and compete with the likes of Mortec Guard or Daughters of Cain, or any of these units that can put out 1,000,000 attacks and just wipe a unit in one go. And like your Plague Monks, Skaven, you could sacrifice your unit to destroy their unit as it attacked you. And this is what made them so good. And they changed it before so that you can only use it once, that you can only benefit once. Each unit can only benefit from it once, so you couldn't stack. Was the thing that they changed, and then they changed it now so that you only get D3 mortal wounds from each unit that attacks you and hit rolls a 6. So now the D3 mortal wounds is really the bloated blessings. It's really not worth taking, and the only time now that you're going to be taking Demon Prince is really is in the as it still is in the Demon Prince host. I forget monsters. I'm already forgetting the names. The spoilers, which I will still use because I have a Demon Prince and I have 2 characters on Manticore, which I can use pretty well. But now it's just massively nerfed this. It's like, this is why I think they're really trying to push you into buying Archaon and Varangard, because Archaon's host is still arguably one of the best, even though you'll be fielding very little. So when it comes to objective games, it makes it a lot harder. And I prefer to field a full army as opposed to one character and some support units. But I do love the look of Archaon, and I want to go on eventually. But yeah, it's really frustrating that they've done this. And as, again, with these small changes that they made elsewhere, they changed the Dark Prophecy rule so that if you use the command ability, it's not you can anymore, it's you must. So if you roll that Dark Prophecy dice, you don't get a choice anymore. You have to use that, regardless of what it rolls. People might have argued that it was overpowered before, but you're paying 800 points for Archaon. So, and they also messed with his allegiance abilities, so that Archaon can only benefit from one mark. So if you've got a Nurgle, if you give him the mark of Corn, and then you've got a mark and Nurgle guy next to him, he still doesn't get that benefit, which you would have. And again, if this is a guy, because in comparison to, say, Catagros, he gets ridiculous things, and Archaon does as well. But it's not. I still think that the amount of benefits that you get for taking like Catacross in your army is far better than it is taking Archaon, especially considering his save and the yeah, he ignores spells on a 4+, but that's a 50-50 chance. His save is only what, a 3+? Yeah, you can make it better, but that's besides the point. The way now, if you're running Archaon, the best way to run him is to take him in a tzeentch army and not Slaves to Darkness. Because the Tzeentch Allegiance can make Archaon ridiculously good. But going back to the Slaves to Darkness, where was we? Looking here at the chariots, the Chaos chariots, and the Gorby's chariots. And this is another thing that frustrated me. Why? You have to have units of 2 or more to get an Exalted Charioteer. Whereas pre-FAQ, you took one chariot and it was an Exalted Charioteer. And for me, this made sense because it's like if they want people to field chariots, then this is what they should do. let people take them in units of one. Let them be slightly better, because people rarely take chariots anyway. But now you have to take two, so people won't take any.
You have to have units of 2 or more to get an exalted chariot.
Because the chariots needed to be better at what they were doing in order to be any good.
Took one chariot
Now
and it was an exalted
they're
chariot.
not, so people won't take them.
And for me, this makes sense because
I have a Gorbeast chariot sitting on my shelf. I was going to use it. Now I may potentially use it if I take the battalion, the Runebringers warband. But that's the only time I'm going to take any kind of chariot.
But now you have to take
So other than that, it's I think it's really ridiculous. The other option is just make them all exalted charioteers. If you want people to take chariots, make them good enough so that people will take more than one.
So people won't take them.
But yeah, it's another stupid thing that they changed there. What else? Chaos Knights and the weapon options. Yeah, I don't understand that. It was, I think they used to be able to take flails, but they changed it so that you can't.
I think it's really ridiculous. The other option is just make them all exalted chariots. If you want people to take chariots, make them good enough so that people will take more than one.
And the rest of them are pretty much the same. They haven't really changed any. But it's the small changes that they made that made the army weaker overall when it needed to be that little bit stronger. Since the Slaves to Darkness lack any real rend, or the rend that they can get is on the charge. Generally, they can they normally can have rend 1 with knights with their ensorcelled weapons. Rend 1's garbage when people are re-rolling saves.
And the rest of them are pretty much the same. They haven't really changed any.
Or in cover.
It's the small changes that they made.
Or have saves after.
That made the army
which many armies can get. Or ignore rend.
To be that little bit stronger.
So
Slaves to Darkness lack any real.
Yeah, and the damage output that a lot of the chaos stuff can do, it's very limited. And that's one thing that they needed. But again, they didn't do it. And I think this is the issue with the guy that's written the Slaves to Darkness book, because it's the same person that's written the Cities of Sigmar book, and there's a couple of places where he could have changed, instead of doing what he did, changed something ever so slightly, and it would have made it so much better. For example, Chaos Chosen, they damage 1, rend 1,
and that's one thing that they needed.
Could have been so much better, and they do, if they roll a 6 to wound or a 6 to hit, they do a mortal wound in addition. It's the same as the great swords with Cities of Sigmar. If they'd have just made those rend 1, damage 2, it'd have been so much better, so much more worth the points. I'm not saying that great swords and chosen aren't good, but when you compare the two, they're pretty much the same. Same armor saves, do exactly the same thing. Very almost the same points values, same wounds amount.
Same as the great swords
it's just a lot of this guy's work seems very copy and paste, and this is the thing that it's missing. I mean, if you're going to do copy and paste stuff, make it good, but make it balanced so that they can deal damage to armies that have higher armor values. Because when you're playing against other armies, where it's like, oh, you've killed 1 or 2, and then it means nothing. Or you've caused 1 or 2 damage, and then they get to re-roll the saves, and then they get the death saves, and then
a lot of this guy's work
more stuff on the top.
And this is the thing that
there's a couple of wounds that you do quickly become negated and mean nothing, and then you slowly lose your units. It's it's a game of attrition that you can't win. Which just really it frustrates me because they had a chance here to make Slaves to Darkness
have higher armor values.
be able to compete with some of the top tier armies with the, for example, with this Bloated Blessings. That was so good. You could build around that and make it a thing, and it's like, okay, you attack me, it's going to kill you. But now it's. I used to play. I was playing Nurgle until this. Now I'm considering changing my build from Nurgle to maybe Undivided and be immune to Battle Shock and have another extra 6+ after save. Because the benefits from being Nurgle aren't that great anymore. Or the other alternative is to do what I was doing with my Slaves to Darkness anyway and go Slanesh. Because they were just so much better.
You could build around that and make it a thing.
Anyway.
Okay, you attack me, it's going to kill you.
Was there anything else that I needed to discuss?
I used to play. I was playing Nurgle until this. Now I'm considering changing my build from.
No, think that's pretty much it. But yeah, just a few things that really frustrated me about the new change. Well, let's have a quick look at. To try and end on something a little more light-hearted. See if there's anything on the.
other alternative is to do what I was doing with my
there we go. Something else, which is again, this is something that has frustrated me because they could have talked more about this, showed us some more Seraphon previews, but they've been spamming the bloody light elves that are coming, and they've done the same thing as they did with Cities of Sigmar and with Oracle Warclans when they were bringing out the Bone Reapers. It was all, Bone Reapers, Bone Reapers, Bone Reapers. And it was like people were asking about Cities of Sigmar and Oracle Warclans. Oh, we're not talking about them anymore. It's like, what do you mean anymore? You leaked us one photo of the books, and that was it. We're not talking about them anymore. And he was all, oh, the new dead, new undead, new undead. And I didn't care. I knew they were going to be overpowered. Lo and behold, when they came out, I was right. They get the stupid catapult, which I knew people were going to buy and spam, and it was going to be ridiculously good that everybody bought it. I was right about that. And one of the most boring armies to watch. I've seen so many battle reports on YouTube and just yawning at them because I'm like, oh, here we go again. Same old Bone Reapers, no change, boring Petrifex, yawn. So when I saw that they were doing these light elves, I figure it's going to be exactly the same. And I'm gonna predict that the light elves actually. One second, just check.
Stupid catapult, which I knew people were going to buy and spam, and it was going to be ridiculously good.
So I'm going to predict that the light elves will have an ability which lets them all strike at the start of the combat phase every time, and obviously fight again in the combat phase because who doesn't have that now? And yeah, I think they're going to be ridiculously stupid unless you're playing them against Bone Reapers. Anyway, Seraphon, the wait is almost over. So for you Lizardmen players, say Lizardmen because that's what I know them as. Hopefully the wait is over, but they're still the same.
So I'm going to predict
they look like the same models, all the same models. The Battle Tome is coming. This looks really. I've got to admit, the terrain piece looks really nice. but it's obnoxiously big, and I've got a feeling it's going to be like the Bone Reapers one. It's like I like the terrain pieces for the armies; they look good, but when you make them this big and they take up a huge footprint in the table and block line of sight, it just gets stupid. It looks good though. I'm not going to take anything away from that. It does look very nice. But yeah, I get the feeling this is going to be another silly piece where it's going to do stupid stuff, make things really good. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong, and it might just be a tiny buff.
This looks really good. I've got to admit, the terrain piece looks really nice.
I'll see they've put the War Scroll in English this time. I can't be bothered to try and read it all, but there you go. It's in English as the War Scroll, so they'll be able to tell what's in it. And they're doing a new start collecting skinks. So skinks, skink priest. Don't know what these guys are called. I'm sure you might tell me.
I get the feeling this is going to be another silly piece where
pterodons, maybe? I don't know.
make things really good.
And then the big monstery thing. Engine of the Gods, is that one? No, I forget what that one's called. We don't have many Lizardmen players, Seraphon players in my local store.
This time I can't be bothered to try and read it all, but they
another start collecting Daughters of Cain. Oh wow, because that's what they need.
Is the War Scroll, so they'll be able to tell what's in it.
Oh god.
And they're doing a new start collecting.
2 characters, 5 snake women.
Don't know what these guys
bloody
are called. I'm sure
cauldron and an avatar. Okay.
Pterodons, maybe? I don't know. And then the big monster.
Gloomspite gets a game one as well.
The Gods, is that one? No.
That's not a bad one. That's actually a really nice start collecting. Some of the things you're probably not going to use on there, maybe. I mean, the trolls are good. Can't say they're not good. And it looks like that's about it as far as Age of Sigmar goes. So they're not just giving you; they're just giving you a little teaser.
2 characters, 5
yeah. So maybe we'll get something in the coming week. So a bit more information about the Seraphon, or maybe tomorrow we'll get something about one of the other armies that's coming. But well, I guess that's going to be it for today. Until next time, take care and happy wargaming.
I mean, the trolls are good.